Hi there and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Angie and I'm a chemist who loves makeup. So I'm sure most of us have had that experience where you've bought this product for years sometimes, you're very loyal to it, and you get it and it just feels different. It doesn't work the same. Sometimes you may have the old bottle to compare and you notice the ingredients are different, and so you find out the product has been reformulated. And reformulations of products probably happen more than you realize. Usually the goal is to reformulate without the product changing. And we're gonna go over some of the reasons why products might get reformulated. So if talking about the science behind makeup and skincare is of interest to you, please don't forget to click subscribe and click notifications so that way you will get notified when I upload new videos. And now we're gonna jump into the first reason, which is cost. So when a formula is first made, obviously they want to make a profit, but if you don't know how customers are going to react to it, you may not want to spend a super long time in development to try to get that cost as low as possible if you don't even know if the public is going to enjoy it. And then once it's been on the market a while and you realize people like the product and this is going to be a long-term product you're going to keep, you might want to start getting the cost down. Maybe that involves using less expensive alternatives of the raw materials. Maybe using less of particularly expensive ingredients. We see this a lot of times, especially when brands are sold to bigger brands. And like I said, during these reformulations, the whole goal is to not have the customer notice, to have the customer still love this product. But sometimes these changes are just a little bit too much and customers will notice and not like the product as much. The second reason is raw material limitation. When you first make products and you have an expected amount of this product you're gonna sell, and as this product becomes more popular, it is a product that you're gonna keep in your permanent line, it can be a lot harder sometimes for these materials to get a lot of them. In terms of farmed ingredients, sometimes they can only grow so many a year due to space limitation of the land that they can use for agriculture for this particular ingredient. Sometimes grow time can take a long time, maybe it can only grow once a year. Some of these places you get raw materials from might already be at 24/7 full capacity. This happened a lot with toilet paper to make it timely and relevant. A lot of these toilet paper facilities were operating 24/7, and if you're already operating 24/7 and your whole supply gets wiped out, it's gonna be really hard to catch up. A different supplier can be providing the same ingredient. You might have to find an ingredient that has a similar function, and these substitutions might always not be comparable. The third reason why companies might reformulate their products is regulations. I know a lot of people have this belief in this myth that the cosmetic industry is unregulated in North America, US specifically, but there are regulations in place. Your product has to be safe. You cannot legally sell a harmful product. And one of those types of regulations that formulators have to deal with is contaminant limitation. Contamination can be found in every ingredient. Particular types of contamination is higher than others. For instance, lead, naturally mined ingredients are going to have higher chance that there's going to be lead in them. PEG, polyethylene type of ingredients can have what is called 1,4-dioxane. So in New York, they passed regulation to limit the amount of 1,4-dioxane in products down to 1 ppm. Before it was 10 ppm, and that is what is considered safe pretty much through the rest of the world that I know. They did lower the limit because they noticed high levels of 1,4-dioxane in the water in New York. There's more about this on a podcast by the EcoWell where they specifically talk about regulations in cosmetics. So if that's of interest to you, I'm gonna link it down below because again, this is a very widely held belief. But in short, coming back to reformulating, now these formulators who use these particular types of ingredients, these PEG ingredients, these type of ingredients that are susceptible to this particular type of contamination, and it's very difficult to get down to that 1 ppm level. So what they are doing is increasing the water amount so you get more volume and less of this ingredient, but that might make them less effective. A lot of that kind of stuff. So regulations do have an impact on formulas, and products have to be reformulated from time to time based on these regulations. And this isn't something that's particular to certain areas. This can cause global change. If something happens in Europe, for instance, and the same product is going to be sold in the US, well, that product too has to comply with the Europe regulations. So a lot of products will globally meet these regulations depending on where they're being sold. The next reason could be customer feedback on quality. And I think personally this is less likely. Formulas can be changed due to customer feedback on quality. This one's probably less likely, but I think this is probably true more so for like the generic store brand, the up and up brand that's trying to compare to the Neutrogena or that kind of thing, because they're trying to mirror a formula. So they're gonna change if customers don't think it matches that formula enough. It is more likely that that kind of a product would get adjusted to try to match that Neutrogena brand, for example. It is possible, but I think this is less likely for brand name brand products, I guess we'll refer to them as, because if you have a foundation, for example, and everyone says, I hate this foundation, I hate this foundation. Well, if you change the formula and keep the same name, you're still gonna have all these negative reviews and people are gonna hate that foundation. So it's way better for you to just release a new foundation. I think this is what happened with the Tarte Shape Tape foundation, is there are so many bad reviews of it beyond the color selection. They rebranded as two different Shape Tape foundations that were different from that original foundation when they tried to reformulate it. So not very likely, but is possible. To meet retailer requirements. So some stores are requiring you not to use a certain list of ingredients or to get a specific label. Clean beauty labels these stores are coming out with, which I don't like, but that's a whole separate story. And brands like Bite Beauty complied with and had to change their formulas, many of which people aren't really liking, in order to have that seal, to get that seal of approval as meeting these clean beauty requirements. And even though I don't really believe in clean beauty, it is a marketing decision and brands have to try to market themselves. So when these changes are made to comply with these stores, usually it's just so they can market as having this special seal of approval. So the next reason is recalls. So if your product gets recalled, mostly it's because of microbial contamination, so your preservative system's not adequate enough. And if your preservative system failed and your products are now having microbial contamination, you'll have to reevaluate that preservative system, have to reformulate in order to make sure that is adequate enough to not grow bacteria. This happened with Benefit Gimme Brow. They had this product on the market for a long time. One batch had microbial contamination and they had to recall. So they rebranded it as Gimme Brow Plus and they use different preservatives now. I believe before they used potassium sorbate and now they use phenoxyethanol. I made a video about it. If I can find it, I'll link it up below. It's a really old video. But they had to reformulate because obviously they had to recall and it caused problems. So the last one we're going to talk about is customer requests. And these changes are made because customers want specific ingredients or don't want specific ingredients. In my opinion, usually it's not justified by science, but brands want to appeal to customers. Customers see these free from claims as a good thing. So these brands will remove them. Parabens is the one in particular that I've seen be like the special one. Like everybody advertises their product as paraben free now. And they're mostly just removed to customer pressure because I have a video linked above that basically debunks the whole paraben fear. And most scientists you see who speak on it have no issue with parabens. A lot of dermatologists don't have issues with parabens. So this was just something that was kind of sensationalized, but doesn't really have any merit. But in any case, customers think they're bad. So they are now to be removed. Lush did this. Lush used parabens for a long time. Lush came out with self-preserving formulas that lacked parabens. The most recent company that I saw do this was Philosophy, and this one made me really sad. They're very well-loved purity face wash. They took out the SLS, they took out the parabens, and the formula itself wasn't drying, wasn't stripping, regardless of having SLS. Obviously, parabens, like I said, have been proven to be demonstrably safe, to be a very good preservative, but they removed it and changed the whole formula. And so now this formula, I don't know if it performs the same, but I'm kind of scared to buy it because I buy it in bulk, so I don't want to spend all that money on a product that's not good anymore. So I might have to try it out and see if it's still good. So those are some of the reasons why products can change, and these changes, like I said, are not supposed to be noticeable by the customer, not in a sneaky way, but if you like a product, they don't want to change the product so much that you now no longer want to purchase it. But sometimes it has to get changed for a variety of reasons. So if you found this video informative, if you learned something today, don't forget to click the like button, and make sure you click the subscribe button and the notification bell, because I guess some people aren't getting notified is what I've been told. So make sure you click that notification bell too. I know I haven't filmed a video in a while, so if you were watching this, thank you. I will now be posting more regularly. I was in the middle of moving and there's a lot of stuff going on. So with that, I will see you in my next video. Bye!